While there are many ways to measure the performance of a car, highest top speed has always been and always will be one of the most coveted titles in the automotive world. Hey, I'm Creech, this is Creech and Cars, and today I'll show you the top 10 fastest cars in the world for 2023. A few rules for this list: these are all street legal cars and production cars, however limited. The cars have to be fairly new, so models like the Veyron and Ultimate Aero won't be considered. And finally, I did my best to go off of confirmed top speeds. A lot of the automakers on this list have claimed top speeds that are far higher than those that have actually been observed. And keep in mind, because not all of these cars have been officially tested, some spots might be interchangeable, especially near the top. Now with that out of the way, let's get into it with the first car on the list, which is the Bugatti Divo with a top speed of 236 miles per hour. Even though it breaks the top 10, this is the slowest modern Bugatti. It is still powered by the famous 8.0 liter W16 engine that produces nearly 1500 horsepower and nearly 1200 pound-feet of torque. This turbocharged engine allows the Divo to go from 0 to 60 in 2.4 seconds, and while it's much slower than the Chiron and Veyron, the Divo has increased aerodynamics that make it faster around the track than other Bugattis. Bugatti also touts the Divo as the first coach-built hypercar of the 21st century. This can be seen as you enter the vehicle and you're met with a beautifully crafted interior with a timeless design. Only 40 Divo models were produced between 2019 and 2020, and despite the price tag of up to $8 million, the Divo sold out within one day. The next car on the list is the Pagani Huayra with a top speed of 238 miles per hour. The Huayra is the oldest car on this list as it debuted in 2011, although Huayra models have continued to trickle out in the years since. There are several versions of the Huayra, but all are powered by a 6-liter twin-turbo V12 borrowed from Mercedes, with the exception of the Huayra R, which used a naturally aspirated V12, also from Mercedes. Power output ranges from 730 horsepower to 838 horsepower, and the Huayra can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds and pull up to 1.66 Gs. The Huayra has a variable aerodynamic system that can produce a coefficient of drag as low as 0.31, and that can be increased to help the car slow down when you need it to. The price of a Huayra can range from $2.5 million all the way up to $7 million for special edition models. At number 8, we have the Koenigsegg Gemera with a 249 mile per hour top speed. Koenigsegg's first 4-seater car is a 2+2 coupe with unique dihedral Syncro helix doors. It is a plug-in hybrid with a rear-mounted 2-liter twin-turbo 3-cylinder and 3 electric motors that combine to produce 1700 horsepower and 2300 pound-feet of torque. The Gemera can reach 60 in 1.9 seconds and hit a 186 mile per hour top speed in electric mode, but you'll need to use the engine to hit 249. The Gemera has a high-tech and sporty interior that you would expect from a hypercar, but it's still spacious enough to seat 4 adults. This hyper-family car won't come cheap, however. The base price for the Gemera is about $1.7 million. Next is the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which can reach a top speed of 250 miles per hour. This hypercar was produced from a collaboration between Aston Martin and Red Bull, and the Valkyrie is able to obtain such a high speed with power from a 6.5 liter naturally aspirated V12 and a 160 horsepower electric motor that brings the total output to 1,140 horsepower and 750 pound-feet of torque. With a 7-speed automated manual, courtesy of Ricardo, the Valkyrie can do 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Unlike some other cars on this list, the Valkyrie's interior is all business, but still has enough tech to keep the driver well informed. While it might not be comfortable, the stripped down carbon fiber interior certainly saves weight, as the Valkyrie comes in under 3,000 pounds. The Valkyrie is the ultimate Aston Martin, but that comes at a price, as Valkyries go for about $3 million. At number 6, we have the McLaren Speedtail, also with a top speed of 250 miles per hour. The Speedtail is tied with the Valkyrie, and it's also a hybrid, although for the engine, the McLaren uses a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 and a single electric motor that combine to produce 1,040 horsepower and 850 pound-feet of torque. Using a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, the Speedtail can go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat and get to 186 miles per hour in just under 13 seconds. The Speedtail is constructed from a carbon fiber monocoque and has 3 seats. The interior is a bit nicer than the Valkyrie, and it has a central driving position. To get this unique experience, expect to pay well over $2 million. Next, we have the Rimac Nevera with a top speed of 256 miles per hour. The Nevera's insane top speed makes it the fastest electric car in the world. This Croatian coupe gets over 1,900 horsepower and 1,735 pound-feet of torque from 4 liquid-cooled synchronous motors that are placed at each wheel. Despite its hefty weight at 4,700 pounds, the Nevera can do 0 to 60 in 1.85 seconds and get to 186 miles per hour in just 9.3 seconds. The interior echoes the same simple and elegant design found on the exterior, with plenty of Alcantara and a digital gauge cluster, large infotainment screen, and it even has a little screen for the passenger. If you want to get one of the 150 Neveras, expect to pay about $2.2 million. Coming in at number 4 is the Hennessy Venom F5 with a 271 mile per hour confirmed top speed, although Hennessy claims the F5 can top 300 miles per hour. This speed is attained with help from a 6.6 liter twin turbo V8 that was developed in-house by Hennessy and specifically made for the F5. This American V8, which is dubbed the Fury, puts out 1,817 horsepower and nearly 1,200 pound-feet of torque. The F5 weighs a tad over 3,000 pounds, and with its 7-speed automated manual, it can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds and get to 186 miles per hour in under 10 seconds. The F5 has a simple yet functional jet-inspired interior that offers just enough comfort. Next up is the Koenigsegg Agera RS, which can reach a top speed of 278 miles per hour. The second Koenigsegg on this list is the RS version of the iconic Agera. The RS is powered by a 5.0 liter twin-turbo V8 that propels it to 60 in 2.8 seconds on its way to the 278 mile per hour top speed. This is possible with the engine's output coming in at 1,160 horsepower and 944 pound-feet of torque. All of that power is sent to the rear wheels through a 7-speed dual clutch. The interior offers plenty of carbon fiber and Alcantara while still being gorgeous and implementing classic Koenigsegg motifs. Only 27 Agera RSs were made, and each buyer was able to work directly with Koenigsegg to customize the model. It should be no surprise that it took about $2.5 million to even get that process started. Coming in at second place is the SSC Tuatara with a confirmed top speed of 295 miles per hour, although SSC has claimed the car can reach 331 miles per hour. The result of over a decade of development, the Tuatara gets 1,750 horsepower and nearly 1,050 pound-feet of torque from a 5.9 liter twin-turbo V8 that was produced specifically for the Tuatara. The Tuatara is absolutely beautiful, and I still remember the first time I saw pictures of the white body with the black dome windshield all the way back in 2011. It's important to note that the Tuatara has the fastest two-way speed in the world as of this recording. The Tuatara's modern interior isn't incredibly luxurious, but it still uses high-end materials like Alcantara and leather. The price of a Tuatara can range from $1.3 million to $1.9 million, as there are street and track specifications. And finally, the fastest car in the world for 2023 is the Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300 Plus, with a top speed of 304 miles per hour. Using an 8.0 liter quad-turbo W16 engine, the Chiron Supersport is supplied with 1,578 horsepower and 1,180 pound-feet of torque. Despite weighing over 4,500 pounds, the 300 Plus can go from 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds and get to 200 miles per hour in less than 15 seconds. While the interior of the 300 Plus is a little more stripped down than the standard Chiron, the material and build quality of Bugatti is unmatched, as it's one of the only companies in the world that can produce a truly luxurious hypercar. Only 30 examples of the 300 Plus will be produced, and it comes with an exclusive black and orange color scheme. You should know by now that none of these cars come cheap, and to get this edition of the Chiron, you'd be looking at a starting price of around $3.9 million. So there are the top 10 fastest cars in the world for 2023. Like I said earlier, at the top end of this list, these cars are likely very close in actual speed under the same conditions, so some of the spots might be interchangeable. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to check out the top 10 list playlist on this channel for similar videos and subscribe so you don't miss future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.